She posted, "Some men can't handle a woman with a past." After I found out about her escort service profile, I replied, "Or present." Then I sent the active listing to her corporate HR department. I, 36 male, am a cybersecurity analyst. My entire world revolves around data, patterns, and firewalls. I find vulnerabilities, assess threats, and neutralize them. It's a very black and white job. A system is either secure or it's compromised. There is very little room for gray. My girlfriend of 2 years, Serafina, 33, lived in the gray. She was a senior director at Veridian Strategy Group, a massive consulting firm. Her job was all about nuance, perception, and managing client relationships. She was charismatic, ambitious, and impeccably polished. We had a great life, or so I thought. We lived in a beautiful high-rise apartment. The lease is in my name, a detail I was always thankful for. We traveled, we were talking about the future. She was the perfect partner, presenting a perfect image to the world. The vulnerability scan, as it were, happened by accident. I was testing a new web crawling script I'd written for a personal project, designed to identify and flag unsecured image hosting on certain types of websites. It was just a technical exercise. I set the parameters and let it run. A few hours later, I was checking the logs. The script had flagged a site called Elysian Companions. The name was pretentious, the design glossy and discreet. It was clearly a high-end escort site. My script had pulled a cached image of a woman in a black evening gown, laughing on a balcony, a glass of champagne in her hand. It was Serafina. My heart didn't drop, it just stopped. All the air left the room. It had to be a mistake, an old photo, stolen and repurposed. But the resolution was too high. It was from a professional shoot I'd never seen. I navigated to the profile page. The name was Sarah. The bio was expertly written, full of corporate buzzwords she used every day. It described her as an articulate and sophisticated companion for the discerning gentleman, someone who could navigate a boardroom as easily as a black tie gala. It listed her rates. They were astronomical. The CEO weekend experience was priced at $15,000. My analytical brain took over. I suppressed the emotional shock and began gathering data. I took timestamped screenshots of everything. The bio, the photo gallery, the rate sheet, and then I saw the reviews. There were over a dozen, all glowing, and they were recent. One from a user named FinanceBro82 was posted last week. It said, "Sarah is the total package, intelligent, stunning, and utterly discreet. Made my business trip something special, will be booking again." Last week, Serafina had been on a women's wellness retreat in the wine country. A trip she said was to decompress and realign her chakras. The system wasn't just compromised, it was a complete security breach. The firewall was down, and an active threat was living inside my own network, and I had to decide how to neutralize it. Update 1. The confrontation wasn't a shouting match, it was a debriefing. I waited for a quiet Tuesday night. I sat her down on our expensive gray couch and placed my tablet on the coffee table in front of her. The screen was open to her Sarah profile. I said nothing, I just waited. She looked at the screen, and for a split second I saw pure, cold panic in her eyes. It was a micro-expression, gone in an instant. Then the corporate masks snapped back into place. She actually let out a little, dismissive laugh. "Serafina. Oh God, you found that. How embarrassing." Me. Embarrassing is one word for it. "Serafina. Liam, that's from ages ago. Before you. I was young and experimenting. It was a phase, a way to explore my autonomy. I just forgot to take it down." It's not a big deal. She was trying to gaslight me, to frame it as a quirky part of her wild past, and frame my discovery as an insecure intrusion. It was a masterful performance. Me. The profile lists you as available for bookings. It also has a review from last week, from FinanceBro82. He says you made his business trip something special. The blood drained from her face, the data point she couldn't spin. She saw I had done my research. Her strategy shifted from dismissal to indignant rage. "Serafina, are you serious? You're tracking my reviews? What kind of controlling, invasive behavior is that? This is my body, my past. I can't believe you're trying to shame me for something I did to survive when I was younger." Me. "You told me you were at a wellness retreat last week, Serafina. This isn't about your past, it's about your present. You are actively running a business as a high-end escort while in a committed monogamous relationship with me. You are lying. It's a fundamental breach of our entire agreement." Agreement? This isn't a business contract, Liam. It's a relationship, and you're violating my trust by digging into my life like this. The circular logic was stunning. My discovery of her lie was a greater betrayal than the lie itself. I felt that cold, detached clarity I get when I'm looking at a complex security problem. Me. It's over, Serafina. She stared at me, dumbfounded. What? You're breaking up with me over this? Over a part of my past I haven't even told you about yet? I'm breaking up with you over the part of your present you actively lied about. The lease is in my name. I'm giving you 30 days to find a new place to live. That's the legal requirement, and I will be following it to the letter. The argument that followed was draining. She cried. She screamed. She accused me of being a prude, of being intimidated by her sexuality, of being a misogynist. It was like she was throwing a whole dictionary of buzzwords at me, hoping one would stick. I didn't engage. I just repeated the facts. You have 30 days. Please make your arrangements. She's still here, for now. The apartment is a battleground of passive aggression. She's alternating between trying to seduce me, don't you miss this? And trying to guilt me. I can't believe you're throwing me out on the street. I know this is just the beginning. A cornered system will try to launch a counterattack. I'm just waiting to see what form it takes. Update 2. 1 month later. The counterattack came as expected, and it was public. Serafina spent the first 2 weeks after the confrontation trying every manipulation tactic in the book. When none of them worked, she moved into the next phase, a public relations campaign designed to frame her as the victim and me as the villain. It started with a post on her Instagram. She has a significant following, a curated audience of colleagues, clients, and friends. She posted a beautifully filtered photo of herself, looking pensively out a window, latte in hand. The caption was a masterpiece of passive-aggressive martyrdom. Friendly reminder that some men just can't handle a strong woman with a past. They want the polished, successful version of you, but can't deal with the journey it took to get there. Their insecurity is not your problem, ladies. Never dim your light for someone who's afraid of your fire. Tash, woman with a past, unapologetic, know your worth. The post blew up, hundreds of likes. Comments poured in from her friends and colleagues. So true, Queen. His loss. Never let a small man make you feel bad for your history. My phone started buzzing with texts from mutual friends. Hey man, is everything okay with you and Serafina? What's this post about? She was trying to preemptively poison the well, to control the narrative so that when our breakup became public, I was already cast as the insecure, controlling boyfriend. She was leveraging her public persona to attack my private character. For a day, I did nothing. I watched the comments roll in. I saw people who I thought were my friends liking her post. Then, I logged into my own, rarely used Instagram account. I went to her post, and under her long, flowery paragraph, I left a simple, 3-word reply, or present. The effect was immediate. A few people replied with question mark emojis. Someone asked, "What does that mean?" Serafina, I'm told, went nuclear. She deleted my comment and blocked me within minutes, but the damage was done. I had introduced a single, contradictory data point into her carefully crafted narrative. I had suggested the problem wasn't historical, but current. Her next move was entitlement. With her 30 days almost up, she confronted me. Serafina, I found a new apartment. It's a bit smaller than this place, but it will do. Me good. I'm glad you found something. I'll need you to cover the first and last month's rent, plus the security deposit. It's about $9,000. I just stared at her. I'm not going to do that. Why not? You're the one ending this. You're kicking me out. You owe it to me to make sure I land on my feet. I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle, a lifestyle you were happy to provide. This is the least you can do for the emotional distress you've caused me. I am not responsible for the consequences of your choices, Serafina. You have a very lucrative career. 2, in fact. You can afford your own deposit. The look of pure hatred she gave me was terrifying. You will regret this, Liam. You have no idea who you're messing with. That was the moment my objective changed. My initial goal was simply to extricate myself from the relationship, to secure my own network. But her threat, combined with her public smear campaign and her outrageous financial demands, constituted a new attack. And a new attack requires a new defense, a proactive one. Final update. 5 months later, it's over. The threat has been neutralized. After her final threat, I spent a weekend thinking, not emotionally, but strategically. What was her biggest vulnerability? Her career, her entire identity, her financial stability, and her social standing were built on the pristine, high-achiever image she projected as a senior director at Viridian Strategy Group. Her side business was a direct and catastrophic threat to that image. I went to the Viridian Strategy Group's corporate website. It wasn't hard to find their global code of conduct policy. It was a long, dry PDF, but I read every word. And there it was, on page 12, section 4B. All employees, particularly those in client-facing roles, are expected to conduct their personal and professional lives in a manner that does not bring the firm into disrepute. Any outside business activities that could create a conflict of interest or pose a reputational risk to the firm or its clients must be disclosed and approved. Failure to do so is a serious breach of contract and grounds for immediate termination. It was a kill switch. I didn't want this to be a messy personal affair. I needed a clean, anonymous solution. Viridian, like most large corporations, had an anonymous ethics and compliance hotline managed by a third party. It was a whistleblower portal designed for reporting fraud or corporate malfeasance. It was perfect. I crafted the message carefully. I didn't write it as a scorned ex-boyfriend. I wrote it as a concerned, anonymous party. To Viridian Ethics and Compliance, from a concerned party. Subject: potential reputational risk and code of conduct violation, SVANCE. To whom it may concern, I am writing to anonymously report a situation that poses a significant reputational risk to Viridian Strategy Group. A senior director, Serafina Vance, appears to be engaged in an undisclosed outside business activity that is in direct violation of the company's code of conduct. Miss Vance maintains an active profile on a high-end Escort website under the alias Sarah. The profile markets her services for social and private engagements at a significant fee. Given Ms. Vance's senior client-facing role, this creates a severe potential for conflicts of interest, blackmail, and significant damage to the firm's brand integrity should this information become public. For your verification, the active profile can be found at the following URL, linked to her Elysian Companion's profile. I have attached timestamped screenshots of the profile, rate sheet, and recent client reviews for your records. I trust you will handle this sensitive matter with the appropriate discretion. I submitted the report. I attached the screenshots. Then I closed my laptop and went for a long walk. It was done. The outcome was now out of my hands, left to the predictable, merciless logic of corporate risk management. Serafina moved out a week later. The day she left was quiet and cold. She didn't say a word. About a month after that, I heard from a mutual acquaintance. They asked if I knew what happened with Serafina. I said I didn't. They told me she had been abruptly let go from Viridian. There were rumors of a major breach of contract, but no one knew the details. She had apparently vanished from their professional circle, her LinkedIn profile scrubbed of any mention of her former employer. A few weeks ago, I got a string of texts from a number I didn't recognize. It was her. They were rambling, furious, and pathetic. She accused me of ruining her life, of being a vindictive monster. She said her life was over, that she had lost everything. She had no idea it was me who submitted the report, but she assumed I had somehow spread rumors. I read the messages. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel joy. I felt a quiet sense of order being restored. She had built a life on a foundation of lies, and a single, well-placed data point had brought the whole unstable structure crashing down. It wasn't my fault. It was a matter of physics. I blocked her number. I changed the locks on the apartment. My life is quiet now. I go to work. I debug code. I maintain my firewalls. My network is, for the first time in a long time, completely secure.